Hello, welcome to Lakora Yoga. I'm Leah, if you haven't been here before. Welcome to this Yin and Yang class based on the throat chakra. So this class is really good for communication. So if you're struggling to kind of get your voice out there, then this might be the class for you. If you haven't done so, I would really love a subscribe and maybe click the bell notification so you can get notified every time a new class comes out, and I will meet you on the mat. Welcome. So we're going to start today's class in a kneeling position. You can either be up onto your toes or you can have your feet untucked, completely up to you. Let's just start with a few neck stretches. So we're going to tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, roll it forward so that your left ear comes to your left shoulder. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale over to the right. Inhale. Exhale over to the left. Inhale. Over to the right. Inhale. Over to the left. Inhale. Exhale to center. And then lift your head up. Okay, so looking to the right. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale over to the left. Inhale over to the right. Inhale over to the left. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. And just come back to center. Okay, now just do a few neck circles. Just roll your head one way. Just do about 3. And then roll it the other way. So you're just letting the weight of your head determine how far down it goes. And then back to center. Just roll the shoulders back. And roll them forward. And do one more back. Okay. Now let's come over onto all fours. So hips over the knees, shoulders over the wrists. Spread your fingers nice and wide and grip the mat with your fingers. Okay, so you're in a nice tabletop position here. So when we inhale, we're going to do a few cat-cows. So we're going to inhale, stick the bum out. Belly draws towards the mat, look forward, not up, just look forward, push the chest in between the shoulders. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, belly button to spine, arch the back, chin to chest. Push the mat away with your hands. Inhale, reverse. So stick the bum out, drop the belly, look forward slightly. Exhale, cat pose, tuck the tailbone, belly to spine. Inhale, come through. Exhale, reverse. Just take a few of these at your own pace. You don't have to keep up with me. And then come back to center. I'm going to bring the hands out slightly further past the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Push your belly towards your thighs. And lift your bum up and push your bum towards the sky. Now keeping the legs bent here, really push the mat away with your hands so you get a nice length in the spine. And then straighten one leg. Take a couple breaths. And rebend it, straighten the other. So just paddling out our downward facing dog here. And rebend, straighten the other. So you can come up onto the toes of your bent knee, even lift your toes up if you want, and rebend, straighten the other. And then rebend in both your knees, look in between your hands, step or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Nice bend in the knees here, really let go. So relax the whole upper body. Make sure the neck is nice and loose. Maybe shake it yes and no. And then very slowly rolling all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders back. And head over pelvis, pelvis over feet. Tadasana, top of your mat. Take a moment here, feel the balance. Inhale, raise the hands up. Exhale, fold forward, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward as much as you can so your fingertips touch the mat. Right leg steps all the way back, lower the right knee. Low lunge here. So lengthen through the spine. If you need to come up onto the knee, you can come up onto the knee. Focus in on your breath, make sure it's nice and even. Left leg comes back to meet the right. Hover over your hands so you're in a half plank, keeping the elbows in, lower chin and chest. Come through. Baby cobra, roll the shoulders back. Just lift your chest up off the floor. Your belly's still on the floor here. Exhale, push back up onto your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Feet together at the back of the mat, right leg lifts up high, toes are still pointing down towards the floor so you're not opening up your hips. Fingertips of your right hand, right foot comes all the way up in between the hands, lower the left knee, low lunge. Again, you can come up onto that knee if you need to. Tuck the toes of the left leg, come up off of the knee, and just do a few rocks here, and then rock your left foot up to meet the right in a forward fold. Slight bend in the knees here if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift, open the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees even more, sweep the hands all the way up above your head, hands come together. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, fingertips to the mat, left foot all the way back. Lower the left knee, low lunge. Right foot comes back to meet the left, hover over your hands, lower chin and chest. Come through, maybe this time into a higher cobra, so push into your hands. Pelvis is still on the mat. Exhale, lower. Push back up onto your knees. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Feet together at the back of the mat. Left leg lifts up high. Left leg comes all the way in. The right knee. Low lunge. Tuck the toes of the right leg, right knee comes up, just a few rocks. Go right foot up to the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, sweep the hands all the way up. Hands come together. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Step both feet back. So you're in your plank. Chaturanga or lower the knees. All the way down to your belly. Now we're going to bring the hands out into a cactus shape. Spread your fingers. Come up onto the fingertips of your hands. Lower your head to the mat. Now we're going to do a few cobra rows. So on the inhale, we're going to start arching the back. Keep the chin tucked. So keeping the chin tucked, we're going to come into some cobra rows. So lift the chest, keep the chin touching, and then as you get to the top, look up. As you exhale, come down. So inhale, raise up, look towards your mat. As you exhale, look forward and come down. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. So you've got this nice spinal movement happening. So again, just do a few of these at your own pace. And then the next time you come down to the mat, you can release the fingers for a minute, maybe stretch them out, flick your fingers. Bend the feet up. So we're bending the knees. The feet can be pointed or flexed, doesn't really matter. Just bring them up towards your bum. Now come back onto your fingertips, and again we're going to do them cobra rolls, but this time it might be a little bit tighter in your body because you've got your legs up. So just go as high as you can. So inhale, tuck the chin. Exhale, look forward to come down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Again, just do a couple more of these. You can bring your hands in closer if you feel like you need to. And the next time your chest comes down to the mat, release the hands, release the feet, flick the fingers again. Bring the hands next to the chest. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, release. Push back up onto your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Just take a few breaths here, maybe paddling out the legs, maybe finding some stillness. And then bending the knees, look in between your hands. We're just going to jump to a cross-legged position and then roll back onto your bum. So you come to a seated position here. So bringing the feet out in front of you, we're going to come into a reverse tabletop. So place the feet hips distance apart. The hands are going to come behind, the fingertips pointing towards the feet. And as you inhale, we're going to lift the bum up. You can either look up to the ceiling, you can release your head back. Just depends how you feel right now. Take a few breaths here. Your next exhale, release the bum. Take the left leg out long. The right leg is going to come over the left. Your toes are still going to be pointing towards the top of your mat here. We're going to inhale up. And then as you exhale, you're going to twist over to the right. So your right hand is going to come behind. Your left hand is going to come onto the knee. And you're just going to slightly twist over to the right. So on every inhale, think to lengthen. Every exhale, maybe twist a little bit more. But as you're twisting from your belly, then your ribs, and then your chest. You're not just yanking your neck around. In fact, I never look over my shoulders. I keep my head in line with my torso. It's all coming from the spine here. Take a couple breaths, maybe some ujjayi breaths, slight constriction at the back of the throat, so you can hear your exhale through your nose. Inhale, hands up. Slight counter twist over to the left for a second. Back to center. Release the legs. Right leg stays long. Left leg comes up and over the right. Again, toes are pointing towards the top of the mat. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, twist over to the left this time. So your left hand comes behind. Your right hand can grab hold of your left knee or even onto the elbow. Every inhale, think to lengthen. Every exhale, just see if you can twist a tiny bit more. Again, as you're twisting, you're trying to think of twisting from the belly, then the ribs, and then the chest. You're not just yanking your neck. Some ujjayi breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then releasing that, just take a slight counter twist over to the right. Back to center, release the legs. Shake out the legs a little bit here. And keeping the legs out in front, we're going to bring the hands behind. maybe about another hand print behind. As you inhale, we're going to keep the heels on the mat. We're going to come up into a reverse plank. So lift the hips. Again, you can drop the head behind if that feels good, completely up to you. If you want to, you can stay here, or you could try lifting one leg, lowering it, and lifting the other and lowering it. Just try to keep your hips nice and high. And then on your next exhale, lower back down. So I did 108 sun salutations last night for the season change. So yeah, I found that one a bit difficult today. But yeah, it's really nice to play with maybe hiring one leg and then the other. Just added a little bit of strength to that. Okay, so crossing the legs, come over back onto all fours, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Look towards the top of your mat, either step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, either step or hop, back to plank or to chaturanga. Come through into your cobra. Exhale, back down. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Then bending the knees, look in between your hands. Just jump again to that cross-legged position. Roll back onto your bum. Let's take the feet nice and wide. Not too wide, not as wide as you can go. So go as wide as you can go and then bring them in slightly. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, drop the hands in front of you by keeping a lengthened spine. And what I want you to do is lean over to the left, then to the right, and then to the left, and kind of walk your way down by going side to side. Go down as far as you can go. Maybe find some stillness. Maybe you want to just keep snaking your body. Try to keep as much length as you can in your lower back. So really try to tilt the pelvis forward here. Look towards the top of your mat so you're not dropping your head either. You're keeping your head up. Should be feeling a nice stretch all down the backs of your legs here. And then very slowly, walking your hands back up. Just use your hands to pull your legs back in. Give them a little bit of a shake. Just bounce them up and down. And let's get on to our yin side. So for this, you are going to need a couple of props, maybe pillows, blankets, blocks, bolsters. And yeah, let's begin. So we're going to come forward slightly so we can lay all the way down onto our backs. Okay, so using our props, what you want is something underneath your knees. So I've got a bolster. You can use pillows, you can roll up blankets, just whatever you've got lying around the house. And then you want something for like behind your chest. So if you're a woman, like by your bra strap. And you can have this as high or low as you want. You might want to start it on the lowest setting and then see how you go. So we're going to lie down. Our knees are supported by our props. Something underneath the back of the chest. And let the head come down to the mat. So we're in a supported fish pose. You know, fish pose, you're normally like this without the props. It's just a bit of a supported one today. If your shoulder blades are getting in the way of the blocks, like mine is, it's really nice to have something a bit softer. Or you can turn the block the other way so that that doesn't dig in to your shoulder blades. And the palms of your hands can either face up, they can face down, they can be on your belly. Whatever feels good for you right now. And just let your body relax for a moment. So remember, with yin poses, we're not going to the full extent. So you're not going to 100% of the stretch. You go to about 60% and then you let your body relax here. So if at any point you're feeling uncomfortable, it's okay to move. Move around. Maybe you get deeper. Maybe you want to go less deep and come out of the pose. Just make sure wherever you are, you can just relax and really let go. So really focusing here on opening up the throat chakra. So make sure when your head is back that it's tilted slightly so that you've got a nice opening down the throat here. If at any point you feel dizzy or lightheaded, then remove the props and just lay down flat. And when you're ready, just slowly wiggling the fingers, just to reawaken the body, wiggling your toes. Then pull your elbows back, and as you lift up, do it very gently. Lift your head, remove any blocks or props, whatever you've got underneath you. I'm going to push yourself up to seated. Move the blocks out the way. Swing the legs behind and come into our downward facing dog for a second. So just paddle out the legs. Just shake your head yes and no. Just make sure your neck is nice and released here. Very gently. Sweep the right leg up behind. Bend the right knee. Bring the right knee just outside of the right ankle. And then the left knee is going to be under your left hip. It's coming into our pigeon pose here. If you get any pain anywhere, or if your knee feels a little bit uncomfortable, come out. Just loosen off out of it. You can come back into supported fish. You can come into child's pose. Look behind you. Make sure that your left leg is straight. Make sure your ankle isn't out to the side. You can either stay here. If you feel like you're rolling over to one side, you can prop your hip up as well. If you feel comfortable, you can come down onto your arms, or you can even come all the way down onto your head. But completely up to you where you go. Just make sure you're not feeling any pressure in the knee at all. Any pins and needles, any tingling, any cramping, then loosen off out of it. Just find somewhere where, again, you've gone to that 60%, where you can relax, but you're feeling some kind of stretch, but it's not intense. And then completely let go. If you want to use anything underneath your chest, underneath your arms, you can do so. Sometimes it's nice to prop yourself up. I'm going to squish the microphone if I do that, but you can lean over. You can have something for your head. Just make sure it's not too low. Somewhere where you can just completely let go for a couple of minutes. And again, don't be afraid to move. You can move if you need to. If you need to higher yourself up, if you need to lower yourself. If you need to have a play with where you are, maybe come back up, check your alignment, maybe get a little bit deeper. And then wherever you are, coming back up onto your hands, tuck the toes of the left foot, lift your hips up, bring that right leg back, and just paddle out the legs a little bit. So bending one leg and then the other. And then bringing the left leg up, bend the left knee, bring the left knee just behind the left wrist, sometimes off to the side a little bit. And then your left heel is going to be by your left hip. So again, look behind, make sure that that leg is straight, that your ankle's not tilting in or out. Find some length in the spine. Maybe prop yourself up if you need to. Just make sure that you don't roll over onto one side. Make sure that you don't have any pinching sensations, any pins and needles, any cramping in your leg before you start to lower down. And then come as low as you want. So again, you find that 60% where you can relax, but you're still feeling something. And again, just a couple minutes, focus on your breath. Try to keep your neck up as well so that you're not compressing the throat. So we're working on the throat chakra today, so we want it nice and long. So maybe roll the shoulders away from the ears. And again, if you need to move, feel free to move. You're not stuck in this position. Yin is all about listening to your body and how you're feeling, doing what you need to do. And maybe your left side is completely different to your right side, and that is normal. And don't forget, you can move if you need to. So this side, I always end up with pins and needles. So if you get that, just loosen off out of it. Come to a place where you don't get that, where it starts to ease off. And then wherever you are, coming back up onto your hands, removing any props that you might have. Tucking the toes of the right foot, lifting your hips up, bring the left foot back to meet the right. Just paddle out the legs again. Bending one and then the other. And then bringing the toes together, drop the knees wide. So sit your hips back towards your feet. And again, as you come down to the floor, just go from side to side. And just see if that helps get a little bit lower. Relax the head and just completely let go here. No tension in the body whatsoever. If you can't get very low, maybe you want to put something in between your bum and your feet, just to give you a little bit more height. Or if this is really uncomfortable, you can do the closed child's pose with your legs together and your hands come behind. And slowly lifting your head, walking your hands back in. Let's bring the knees together. Put your bum off to one side. We're going to bring the right knee in front of the body, the torso. So your right foot comes by your left hip. And then your left foot is going to come over. So your knees are going to end up stacked, or as stacked as your body will allow. And your feet are going to come to the side of your hips. So if you feel like this is an awkward position to get in, just try your best. It really doesn't matter if your hips are stacked, but what you can do is you can lean forward, stack your hips, separate your feet, and then come backwards. And sometimes that helps just to position it a little bit better. Inhale the right arm up. Right arm comes behind, left hand maybe grabs the back. Maybe it grabs your t-shirt, maybe your hands are just flat against your back. Just whatever you can do with your hands. Make sure both of your hips are on the floor here. So if you really struggle with this, one thing you can do is leave your right leg long and just have your left leg come over and stay in this position. It really doesn't matter if your knees are stacked or not. Just trying to get that internal rotation on the hips there. And then looking straight ahead, make sure you're not closing that throat chakra. Lift your head up. Just take a couple of breaths here. I'm not staying in this one too long. Again, maybe focus on that ujjayi breath, breathing in and out of the nose. Then release the hands. Now you can either just take your legs out long and switch them, or if you want to be funky about it, you can lean forward, come onto your toes, twist all the way around your mat, and come back down, and you'll find that the other leg is on top. Again, if they don't end up stacked, maybe lean forward, stack your knees, separate your feet, and walk back. If you need to take that left leg out long, you can take the left leg out long. Just make sure both of your hips are on the mat. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, the left arm stays up, the right hand reaches behind. And again, if you can't clasp your hands, you can grab a belt and hold like a belt or a dressing gown tie. You can grab your t-shirt, you can just have your hands flat. Just make sure that you're not crouching in, you're opening up. And breathe, find that ujjayi breath. And then when you're ready, release the hands. Maybe just roll the shoulders if you need to, give the arms a little bit of a shake. Lean back, release the legs, shake out the legs, and let's come over into Shavasana. So again, just take whatever props that you would like to take. What I'm going to do today for our throat chakra is just have a bolster behind the back of my chest, just to open up the chest that little bit more. Lean your head back and relax. So obviously, because the bolster's quite wide, my arms are kind of flopping around. So you can either have them on your belly. You can have them, if you're quite flexible, you can have them up behind you. You can grab hold of either elbow and just again open the chest up a little bit. Maybe do this for a couple minutes and then bring your hands back down. Just again, making sure you're not closing off the throat. If you had your hands up, maybe now you want to release them. So wherever they can relax. Take a couple moments to breathe into the throat. Relaxing the facial muscles. You can either stay in this half supported fish, or if you want, you can raise yourself up, release the props, and just come right onto your back. You want to end like this anyway, so you can either come into it now or right at the end of this class, just to neutralize the spine back out a little bit. So feet flop open, hands come by the sides. Close down the eyes. Just take a couple moments to completely give in here. Let everything go. Notice how your body feels now compared to at the start of the class. I would love to know if you want to write it in the comments after this. Which pose was your favourite? And when you're ready, just slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Take a big stretch overhead. Roll over onto one side and just take a moment to pause on your side here. Just give the body a chance to reawaken. And then push yourself up to seated. Inhale the hands up above your head, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to write in the comments below what your favourite pose was, that would be awesome. And I do have a membership which has a free 7-day trial. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description below and you can go and check it out. I've got a lot of longer classes on there, some meditations, I've got a lot on there. So go and have a look And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.